Hello and welcome back to Carnopia with me, Neat, and today's episode, essentially we are going to look at expanding our industry and just trying to slowly build up that need for demand. And I think this is the time where we'll start to maybe put down a college so that we can get some more highly educated workers in, and hopefully that will increase the demand for more medium and high density. So on the last episode we had built in a kind of expanded some farmland over here, and we have just made it to Busy Town. So what do we actually unlock with Busy Town? We unlock ore mining and the gated community, as well as some much needed extra money. And we have 16 development points and 19 tiles that we can utilise. So first of all, I just want to have a little look at what we've already got. Okay, so we could look at putting in a hospital. We can look at the college, so I think we'll buy the college, and I think we'll buy the hospital as well. And then we've also got an ability to start looking at police stations and fire stations, which I think we're going to hold off. And then we've also got train, which I think, whether or not we'll get round to it this episode, but I think working towards trains and, you know, all the public service, the transport links are going to be really important in a pedestrianised city. And then finally, yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it for now, because we put down communication towers? I don't think we have any communication at the moment, no. So let's start off with the internet then. So the radio mast that we can put down. The other ones we need to unlock. Is that right? We need to put in a service farm and a telecom tower. The telecom tower provides a wide range of telecommunication services, or the servicing tower, which is a server farm for a collection of computers. Maybe if we get that? I'm intrigued to see what that might do. I've never really put anything like that down. So we've got the radio mast anyway, and I know that people don't like to live near where these things are. Don't know what it does for coverage. Kind of makes sense to have one around. Problem is this, it doesn't have a very big reach, does it? I suppose I could upgrade it. Maybe coming off one of these farms, because then that'll do the two areas. Kind of makes sense. Maybe one. Yeah, they don't have a lot of reach, do they? We'll put them down and just see what that does, and what upgrades have they got. They've got, so we can upgrade them so it can handle more reach, and then it's got another upgrade that also does the coverage area. I just want to see what that difference is. So if we go into our information hub, go to communications, I suppose that has helped with the reach, hasn't it? Somewhat. I wouldn't say a ton, but somewhat. I think we'll leave that for now. Let's just have a recap of the server farm. So the server farm banks computer systems, and I don't know what that... Oh, that's got huge coverage. Oh, I wish I'd known. I would have just done a server farm. Well, we're in it now. I suppose we could put a server farm in. Does it have any pollution? So a server farm has medium noise pollution. And I'm just realising that we put all this housing in here despite the fact that the wind travels that way. So whether or not we need to, I suppose, move that away. So I might actually repurpose all this housing that we put in. Sorry guys. Oh, I need to zone it actually, otherwise they'll just rebuild. Yeah, let's de-zone everything here. Right, sorry that took longer than I care to admit, but we now have both our recycling centre and our server farm, which actually if we now go to our communications, like everywhere is perfect. I probably didn't need to put the radio masts down. It even has upgrades, so we could improve the coverage and we could have higher computer power. But the biggest challenge was levelling out the ground. It was an absolute nightmare. And I think it's just one of those areas where the terrain and everything is just quite sloped. You know, if we look at the terrain, there is a way to look at the terrain, I think. Is there? Probably just in build mode. But if we look at the... what we can see, yeah, look at those lines. It's just very, very hilly. To make it look neat, it was like nigh impossible. I'm trying to think if there's any other kind of servicey industrial buildings we could put around here. I'm just going to see if we can kind of follow a path along without damaging, just to get some industrial buildings and just see what it looks like. See, we keep ending up with that wall, which the wall itself isn't a problem, I don't think, but it just, at the moment on my game at least, I find the wall just looks quite big, like defined, I suppose is the easiest word to say. Does that fix it? Can you now connect? I was just hopeful that we could connect it up. See, that doesn't look bad in my opinion, but just this bit, for whatever reason, sloped too steep. Shrink it down. Maybe if we try and... Is that going to fix it? There you go. So that, in my opinion, looks a bit better. It's not perfect. Oh, it's not even straight. Damn it! Every time I play this game, nothing's ever straight. There we go. And it just gives us a little bit of area to play with, and then it has got kind of that key wall. What I might do is just expand out the terrain just to level it out to that wall so we can put some industrial buildings off of it. It's quite tricky. There we go. And then we should be able to fit some industrial so we're not wasting the space. And then I think we'll just keep it somewhat natural. There are certain places where we should and shouldn't develop, so it's just bearing that in mind. So now we've got this spot next to it that I think can also be industry, because the wind's going that way anyway, so we won't be particularly special with our zoning. We'll just see what it grows in like. Yeah, the whole area, please. Thank you. We'll go to about there for now. And then we'll just be mindful of this back bit not to go onto the main road, she says. Right. So that should please our city when it comes to industry. And we've got a road traffic accident. What are you doing? This person's completely out of their car, off the road, and you just can't help but wonder why. What have you done to end up there, eh? What's your name? What's your name? Anna Hutchinson. Well, Anna, you are a modest, healthy income household. Let's talk English. You're unemployed and you reside over here. Oh, in a high rise. Oh, lovely. Look where you live. Very nice. Looks lovely. Beautiful. So we now have, let's just unzone that. We now have issues with our energy, with our electricity supply, which would make sense because we are running purely off of these bad boys. We'll put a couple more down all the way up to the castle. Ooh. Oh, I ruined it. Now, yes, that fixes our energy. And how much energy have we got? Because that is actually something we'll need to consider. So we are literally just okay, just about. So we do want to probably look at investing in energy in the future, or otherwise we're going to struggle. And we have more issues with our traffic. We've got lots of cars stuck here. And why are you stuck there though? I think that should move quite quickly actually. I think that was just some cars going one way or the other. What are we dealing with? Were we at lights? Okay, you're going green. We've got pedestrians. Whether or not we need lights, I don't know. We will see what's going on there because that's quite a lot of traffic. Do we have many people using this path? There's a couple of people walking up. We've got loads of space for the car parks, at least on this side. That side we've got the issue with the cable wire, so we need to just leave well enough alone. I'm just wondering whether we add in another way in to that car park by putting in another road. And we'll pop trees in. So hopefully that might help with some of the traffic into that bit of more built up area, because hopefully people now, if they want to go to the parking to those two zones, they can very easily go straight into that area of parking. And hopefully somebody's going to notice that they can go that way. Who knows? It's a mystery when it comes to this game. I'll give that a minute to play out. And we are going to put in our next lot of low density housing. Ooh, we'll fix that. So I'm thinking we'll put some low density housing kind of over here, in between our lovely farms. Let's just double look at our resources. So we have got room for one more cotton farm, so we'll quickly pop that down. Right, there we are. We have a roughly lined textile farming area. And now we will pop in our low density housing. So as normal, we are going to go and stick with the old-fashioned pedestrian roads because we love causing mayhem and traffic. So I think we'll come straight out first of all. And then I kind of want to almost make like an arc to here if I can, but I want it to look quite middle ground. It's too much. Might be easier if I go in the middle. No. Oh, this is tricky to make it look. I mean, that's kind of okay. It's just this middle bit that doesn't look quite right, but that is better. Just trying to think of ways to make things look a bit more funky. I'm gonna find a way now. Actually, that could work. And now we have a bit of a uniform arc, which I kind of like the look of. And then what we'll do is just run some straight streets all the way down. And I'm hoping that's going to look really nice. And then we're also going to pop some shops. Now, where do I want the shops? I'm almost tempted. Can I do a parallel road? I want to like almost... Oh, I don't want that kind of parallel. It's not what I mean. I just want to marry up to that. Somewhat. Does that kind of work? It's not awful, but it's not right, if that makes sense. water, and then we'll put our shops. She says, oh, I'll put my shops on the end. I don't think I actually can, you know. I think because of the gradient, I think. I know, we're going to sort you out. Oh, Jesus. We've got all the issues. Right, we're going to sort out our electricity. Where are we at with electricity? And then we'll come in and worry about the commercial. So electricity is actually okay. I suppose it's the reach over this area and over that area. Oh, that's it. They're overloaded, which is why we've got this bad boy, our emergency power thingamabob, and he's depleted. Why are you depleted? You should not be depleted. Does that work? Does that solve the issue? Absolutely not. So we need to actually seriously think about our energy efficiency. And then there's also, oh, that did fix that. We've got water issues. So let's look at our water. And our water availability is almost out. Out for the count. Quite rightly so, because we are using one little pumping station. So what have we got? We have sewage outlet and a pumping station. So for now, as annoying as it is, we're just going to continue using some pumping stations. What we'll do, so we've got a little road, we'll pop one here, and then just pop a little dirt road down. And I think that looks absolutely beautiful. And that's solved that issue. Okay, so let's see if we can fix, I don't think we're going to be able to fix the zoning here. Okay, I can maybe. At least to some extent, we can have some little shops, which actually might look more appropriate. And then we will put a couple of shops on the entrance, just like a mini high street, and again on the exit. And then the rest is going to be more low density housing zoning. Probably too big. I might have to go in and make that smaller. And at some point we are going to have roads going off of that. But I just like the idea of different shapes, giving a bit of character to, you know, I know it's probably not an efficient way of building a city. You know, I'm probably, I'm no builder. Let's put it like that. I'm no city planner. I'm no builder. I'm just somebody who plays around. So now we've built up a little bit of an area for some low density housing. I do quite like this kind of grid change here. So I'm hoping moving around the city, we're going to put some angles in and almost build all the way along to where we've just done our low density dome to really kind of connect everything together. What I would like to look at now is the college and the hospital, but I'm very aware that we might not be able to do both because money isn't our forte. We are still in a deficit. We are currently losing £206,000, 443p a month, according to our budget, and it's because our expenses are just a little bit more than I suppose what we're bringing in. Now, we aren't really taxing very heavily, so I'm thinking if we could crock it up, you know, to 14% for everything and just see what that does. So that should bring us in a little bit more. So that's brought our expenses down anyway. And then you can see here, we aren't making any money off of anything, which, you know, understandable. And from a production point of view, we are now actually bringing in some chickens and carrots. So before we put a college down, let's put some more chickens and carrots into play. So chickens do not, let me just remind myself, chickens do not need fertile land, no, not at all, but carrots do. So we'll do the carrots first because we've got space over here. So we have now utilised pretty much all of that fertile land, and there is scope to go a bit further with it. In fact, we could mess with the train line and bring that up so the farm can go underneath it, just to use that fertile land as best possible. It's probably going to take a minute to see that production change, she says, and it's already changed. It's just the chicken that hasn't changed. However, we've got all this land around where the rock and our poop water is. We need to do something about that, don't we? It's starting to really build up. I suppose what we want to do is upgrade him and maybe stick that on the back just for now. And we'll look at upgrading that for the future, just to kind of make it not so disgusting and poopy, particularly when we've got farms along the way. But I suppose we do use human faeces for fertiliser, or at least in the UK, so it's not too obscene. Yes, so we have got a need for chickens. I think for now we'll focus on where we want our college to go. So we've got our school complex already in this area. We've got our train line and our highway, which we've connected to a highway at now actually 3 points technically. We've got it connected up here, down here and up there. And then obviously currently the train line goes off around from the farming, which personally I'd like to keep as more of a like industrial one if we can, and then make a whole new line that will come into our centre. And I'm thinking our centre will start to be further back this way. So in terms of a college, obviously it's not a university, it is big, but it's not that big. Now I think it might be quite nice if we pop the college somewhere, I suppose, back kind of near towards the highway. This road's going to go up and over, and maybe if we utilise this space here, it may be something that we end up switching around, I don't know. So if we just put a road where we might think, how big is the college first? And actually that's like the high point of the hill, isn't it, there? So if we popped him there, and now I've got no money left, I've got £190,000. What does that look like? Look at that, that's quite cute. And then we'll build up all around it. It can see the town, the downtown. It can see the new residential, and it's got some views of the farming. I think that's rather beautiful, to be honest. And it does have some extensions, not that I can afford them, but they're not, you know, awful extensions. One of them's on it and one's just to the side, or it could just fit behind. So let's give ourselves a nice big road for it to stick to. Or do we keep it pedestrianised? That's the question. I think there's no harm in having it as a proper road. Or actually, what we'll do, we'll put a pedestrian road along the actual area so that it's really user friendly, and then we will kind of connect the rest later. So we now have made some unique shapes, very probably not efficient shapes at all. Currently people are only complaining about lack of customers and a few moaning about rent, but you know, how can you moan about rent? You're literally by a beautiful castle, so I feel like that's not something to complain about. This is kind of cute in here, and like the fact that there's like a random tree. I'm wondering whether we can creep too big. Like a tiny, we can. We definitely can. Nice. If we turn eye off. Then we'll put a little road in. Maybe if we just make it an alley. Why not? Slope? But that one's fine. You're having a laugh. And again, I don't think people can park on alleys anyway. No. So there's a creepy little... Oh, I've done the parking the wrong way round, and I... Idiot. Oh, bollocks. Look at me. I don't want it to be angled. No! Right, we're going to fix that. Let's just make rule number 1, do the road first and then cock up later. So I'd love to go down from there, but apparently it's just too steep. This train in this game is going to be the death of me, honestly. I find it very challenging. Then we'll put some little trees, maybe some bushes in there. Let it dot around. If we can get a couple more little trees in. I think that's going to grow in quite nicely. And then we've made use of that space as well. So we've got another place for people to park. The local residents is what I'm hoping. If we look at that, that should encourage. And I'm loving the way it's starting to grow in. You know, I think that's just so unique and colourful. And we're really using these car parks like perfectly. You know, they are actually full, which I'm sure it's not going to be long before we're going to have traffic issues. We're going to have people moaning left, right and centre about traffic. So the whole point of me putting a road here is it's going to kind of probably connect back this way. I'm just trying to think where. It probably makes sense to have a main road connection up this way. And if we keep it 90 degrees. And we know the rules by now. Tree line it. So we don't have any dodgy dealers trying to park everywhere. And I think that's going to look really nice because I'm going to put hopefully I want offices. So it's like you've got really nice offices on your way up towards the college. And as you come up, in fact, if we move the college along, you'll come up that road and see the college almost right there. And then if we connect a pedestrian path, there we go, we'll get there, won't we? We could almost have it connect so it goes straight to the middle. Look at that. Grand. Grand. Love it. In fact, that's wrong. It's not quite level. There you go. So as you come up the road, you go straight. Actually, can you put... That's a good question. No. The pedestrian roads are bland and boring. So next thing is to put in some parking because otherwise we are going to have more chaos. So particularly near where the college and that is. And again, we know that parking can't always be on a main road because that in itself causes chaos. So what I'm thinking is just from here somewhere we'll do a road up. Oh, not you, just a normal road. Thank you. And a road along. And put them along that way, and we'll put a sibling one along, going along this way. Oh, wrong thing, Sarah. Not straight. And the same thing. Pop a nice car park in. Oh, I haven't got enough money. I'm broke. I'm broke, ladies and gentlemen. No. We are okay. Do we have anyone actually using the college with 34 people? 34? Last year I had 27. No, that's the wrong reference. I'm talking about the Harry... if anyone's watched Harry Potter. Last year I had 24. I was like, I'm going to get you 2 more presents. So, we are losing 205,000. That's not that bad. Quit your jibber jabber. Now, service fee. So, service fee. Citizens and businesses pay a service fee for using electricity. The electricity service fee affects overall consumption rate. It also affects happiness. So, could we not charge a bit more? Does that... Like say we charge 120 for people using our stuff. So now our monthly deficit is 175,000, and we could charge people for using healthcare. I just want to see. I've never really done this. You know, I've never had to. You know, Cities Skylines 1, I'm pretty sure it isn't a thing to charge. You know, and let's see how that affects. So saying our monthly balance is even more. Like, I don't get it. I'm just going to watch that number and see how much it drops down by, because I feel like it's lying to us. So we're at 37,462 currently. We also have demand for medium density, and it's about time we pop medium density in, I would say. So we've got this hub of roads going all the way along, and this is a perfect place to put in some medium density housing. So let's plop you guys in. Just let that grow in. And we've got the Cornundum condos, which, let's have a little look at you. That's really cute, isn't it? And actually that might look really nice next to some of our buildings. I think if we plop it, where do we want to plop it? We want to plop it somewhere where we're building everything. Maybe make it a bit of a focal point and put some parks around it. I'm going to pop it there for now, but it might not live there. I've realised that we also have the Pop Stars mansion, which does something. The problem is I don't think the Pop Star would live necessarily by industry. He probably would have lived near an old castle and then the industry built in around it, but I don't think that's quite his vibe or her vibe. I'm assuming it's a him. Equally, this funny arc, I think we save the Rockstar, or we could actually pop him over here. I think we need to give him a special place, like maybe even here, and that could be like a fancy rich people near the waterway there later on. So we'll leave him for now. So currently we still haven't dropped down our, so our monthly balance has gone down a little bit. Interesting though. So we also have demand for shops, and I want to put down some more of that nice fancy shops. We haven't got the great town yet, we're not quite there, and we haven't got any demand for offices. Crematorium. So you give some extra stuff, don't you? Okie dokie. So we've also got the hospital, but we can't afford it. So really the focus right now is to expand out some more low density commercial, and if we can, some industry. Now look at the industry and how that's grown in. That's quite interesting. So it does all fit quite nicely there. I think we can do some touching up, and we definitely will do some touching up, because that's not quite look at that, fucking hell, that's not quite right, is it? I will go in and fix that at a later date. This has grown in really nicely though. I kind of like that. Don't know how I feel about having the shops here, so actually I think what we'll do is actually de-zone. So we are now just letting things grow in a little bit and just seeing what we end up with, and whether we can, you know, do anything else. Is there any way? Oh, bloody hell. Eternal little glitches. Always eternal little glitches. Just want to put some houses on that back bit as well. And hopefully we can get rid of those. And we can get rid of these now. The path trick for zoning is, you know, a good trick to know, but we shouldn't. I think you should be able to like click the zoning and like it retry zones, so you can kind of like click a few times until you get like the one that suits your preference. Would suit me better, I think, personally, but you know, I think this is all starting to grow really, really nicely. So as you can see, we've got our kind of old, where we started off with the town over here, and we've got our like row houses, and everything's kind of very neat, organised paths, making it all very pretty and very sweet. And then as we come along, we move to like our cemetery and our like park towards our castle, which is really cool, and the first area of our industry, which actually is being used really, really well. Car parks are okay, not too bad. This is saying that we aren't utilising our charge properly, but I can't really afford the upgrade right now. Then we have a first bit of farming, and actually we've got more space to expand the farming out, so that's why that area is left free. And then we've got this new area that we've built up. No pedestrian access. Oh, well. You're on the corner, darling, that's why. Well, why are you there then? Bloody hell, let's just de-zone that one little bit because he's being a twat. Yeah, don't build there if you can't fit there. How about that? Now we've got the newer bit that we put in. So we've got an area for our recycling centre and 2 ginormous buildings, the server farm, which actually I think, you know, it's not abnormal being sat there. If anything, the industry being there is not the most common anymore. We'd start to move things back. And then as we move along, we've got more industry, which I'm very aware the ground is ruined and we will fix it. And then we've got some more farming. So basically we've almost got like a little town complex going on where there's some work, there's some housing. And then I kind of actually really like this shape. If anything, I probably should have been more symmetrical and followed out from this one a bit of a windy path. But I figured because we've got our bus depot, our kind of depot industry buildings all there, I could move them, and I may well switch this around and kind of copy that on this side, so it's almost like an alien. But for now we've done a bit of a grid structure, and I've made it square there because it's going to start to be more griddy as we make our way up to the college. And what I'm planning to do is taper the low density up towards more medium as we hit where the college sits. And then obviously the town, the more central area, we haven't really changed at all, other than putting in this one little bit of parking. And then we've got some traffic issues because the car park is full. What a surprise. And we've got our college. So that is where we're going to leave today's episode for now. We've done a little bit, but not a lot. And it's more because we've been limited by money. And really we're focusing our expansion on bringing income and increasing our size of our area so that we can then start to work on hospital, trains, and I think once we start putting in the transport, that's going to really help this city grow more. At the moment we are very limited because we keep having to put in parking and being very spatially aware. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video, and do let me know in the comments below if you've got any ideas or suggestions for future episodes. And yes, I will see you all soon, so enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, bye!